tonight is clearing, yeah? How to clear? Okay. If you like my diagram here, we're going to call the blue guy your norm and clearing the blue guy so we can get to a better level of you, the green guy. Okay. All right. So that's where we're heading. And so we'll cover some old stuff. We'll try to clarify some things along the way. Different words we could use for clearing. Okay, so I've got an established system. Let's give him a name. He's Robert. Okay, and I'm going to have to clear Robert if I want to be a Nadeau. All right. Tonight I might use the 10-pound, 20-pounder, arbitrary numbers. Okay, that my norm is a 10-pounder, and I want to trade them in or clear so I can become a 20-pounder. Another form we could say you're having a fair day and you got to trade you having a fair day in to having a good day you. All right, so there's different words we could use, but you have the sense of it good enough, huh? So right now or soon we'll all be the blue person and we're going to clear to get the green person, okay? Clearing. Dennis, I might bounce off Dennis a little bit tonight. Dennis brought up, Dennis the magician, brought up last week the words anxiety about clearing, fear about clearing, and then also not knowing or wanting a little more input on the next character that mixes up the 20-pounder tonight, the Nadeau instead of Robert, the good day person instead of the fair day person. So we'll, I think we'll cover questions. We'll have an open mic eventually tonight for a bit. Let's see. First, let's just be more present. Let's establish the blue guy or the 10-pounder, in which case I'll need Katja. Are we on screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're on, okay. Okay, so first I want to establish myself. Being present, okay. I want to get all the main pieces. So my body feel present with Katja. My sense of things. Okay, I feel her pressure. I feel her lean a little bit. My sense of things, my body presence. Okay, don't drift off into ideas. Okay, remember ideas. It's all here. It's all here. Okay. Now with what we're playing with tonight, that means back off. Now I'll do a quick one. If I were to clear, so I've got to take that first set me. Easy is another word we could use. Settle is another word we could use to clear out that first grouping of me. And as I clear, open could be another word. Let go of the old. Clear. And clear brings me to, it's almost like a sense of clear to an open stage. And on this open stage, clear starts to mix up the next dimension me, the next level of me. Easy. Tricks here are first, let it be through the body. Don't jump to the idea fast. Very important trick. Clearing to the next, and the next is mixing up. The energies that mix up a better body are trying to mix up a better body. So I I play with them. I invite them. I allow them. I inhale them. I don't have to know what they are. As I let them mix, they will make this change of body obvious to me. It's easy. I feel a little bit wider. I feel just a little bit deeper or grounded a bit more. Just feeling, just feeling, just feeling. Another trick there is as I'm feeling like, okay, I feel a little fuller. Oh, fuller. Let me think about that. What does that mean? Careful of that bounce into the idea of things. Stay with the experience of things for a while. It's a good trick. Feel. So again, I feel a little wider, a little fuller, a little more. And sense of what's my sense of myself? I feel more fully here. Kind of obvious. Anything else? Sense of myself. A little more prepared to do something. Kacha for you again. So now I'm at my green level or a 20-pounder and has a 20-pounder present. Okay. Right. Any difference that you notice?
You changed my structure. So
okay.
I felt like your presence and your energy.
Okay.
Aligned.
I think she's saying, we got to get through the Swiss stuff here. I think she's saying, because I'm a 20-pounder now, she's affected by my presence. And I think she was hinting that her presence is getting a bit better because my presence it resonates. Okay. That in itself is like, whoa, get better yourself. And then you affect other people around you just because. If you're a 20-pounder, everyone around you is touched by that. Whether they know it or take advantage of it or experience it, that's questionable. But you're doing the best thing you can do by being a fuller you. Okay. All right. So, thank you. So, clearing. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Talking to Amy from Oakland and the other day, and she said, yeah, it should be simple and fast and easy. Yeah, should be so. Okay, maybe I want to touch on Dennis, who brought up anxiety and fear and some other words. In clearing, so you've established yourself, here's your norm, you're a 10-pounder. Okay, right? I'm going back to being a 10-pounder. Everyone, you're a 10-pounder. That's what you feel, your sense of things. Hello, here I am. I'm a 10-pounder. Now the game is, how do we trade this in? Another phrase, how do we trade in a 10-pounder to get to a 20-pounder? Or tonight's word, clear. How do we clear the 10-pounder? How do we clear the blue guy to get to the green guy? Okay, clearing. We have to let go of whatever the blue guy is hanging on to. Just let go, just clear. And as we clear, there also seems to be a settling and evaporation, new word for me, type of evaporating that's going on. Now I still have a little identity as a 10-pounder, and I'm saying, well, wait, nothing's happening yet. That's the 10-pound guy. Clear from that also, easy. Clearing a 20-pounder. The next level of you should begin to start a mix. Right? So again, there potentially is a simplicity of it. Dennis, you want to jump in here? Say anything about anxiety, fear, whatever you were saying last week? I believe you brought it up.
Yeah. There always seems to be just sometimes there's a bit of a touch of, oh, what's next, or what, like you just said, of kind of holding on a little bit. And it just kind of comes in, and
Yeah.
I find that if I do settle a little bit in it, that it kind of dissipates and drifts away. But I do bump into that once in a while.
Okay. So that it's called the blue guy a 10-pounder. The 10-pound idea is very interested in the green person or the 20-pounder. But if we stay there, we're interfering. If we stay there with the 10-pound questioner, a wanderer, we're interfering with the faster ability of transforming faster, of going from a 10 to a 20 much faster. At first, don't worry about that word fast, because I want you to catch the fullness of things. But that'll be a killer. The 10-pound idea will kill a 20-pound presence. It'll slow it down so much. It'll kill it. That's a good way. Okay. That your interest and your worries and your inquisitiveness, I like that word, your inquisitiveness about you as a 20-pounder will interfere. So that has to be cleared also. Okay. Don't turn clearing into a lot of work. Oh, I got to clear that. Now I got to clear this. Now I got to, don't turn it into work. It should be simpler and easier. Hush, settle, trade yourself in, including all your thinking process. Easy, let it be what it is. I like that sense too. There's something there. It'll show eventually here. Let it be whatever it is. I trust the pattern. And as you play with this, hopefully you will be trusting the pattern. So that might take care of Dennis's fear. What's going to happen here? Who's going to be there? And I've said this before, it's going to be you. But you at a better level than you may know about. Okay? But by law, it's still going to be you. That's why I came up with Bobby, Robert, Nadeau, Sensei Nadeau stuff, to say that's still you. But there are finer dimensions of you. And as you open up, there are qualities and stuff, and the energies are also qualities. And there may be ones there that you weren't ever aware of. But when you hang out with them, you realize, oh, wow, this is natural. Oh, yeah, I like this. It's you. So that should take care of the fear. Back to Dennis. What's the obstructions potentially here, Dennis? Give us the bad news.
Give you the bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What could screw you up here, or what is screwing you up here, if you allow it?
Yeah, holding on to ideas and feeling that, well, this has gotten me so far this way, so it must be right. It must be the good, must be good.
Good. Good. Hold it there. It's good. So we also use another word here, let go. I want to clear, it infers also letting go. And that means letting go of pro and con, letting go of the good things. Because if you hang on to them, you're trying to bring the blue stuff into the green realm and you're confusing the system or interfering with how it works. So when we play this game, if you can just let go even your good stuff. But I'm a nice guy. If I let go, will I still be a nice guy? Trust me, nice guy letting go will turn out to be a very, very nice guy. Okay, but you have to let go and see if that's not so. But I guarantee you it is so. Okay, it only gets finer, better. That's the way the law works. Finer dimensions mix up finer. Okay, so far so good. Dennis, continue.
That's good. So then there's that that curiosity, like you just mentioned, that inquisitiveness that will interfere.
Yeah. Gee, who will I be? You have to let go of that.
Yeah.
So that wants to be can be. Yeah. So we keep hanging out up here in our 10-pound mind, our blue mind, our Bobby mind, whatever you want to call it. These are different names, whatever names are comfortable for you. But if you're hanging on to that 10-pound identity mind, it's going to want to do those things, and it's going to interfere like crazy. So those are natural things. Geez, I'm interested in what it could be, and I want to make sure it's going to be safe, at which time you're going to start trying to control it. It won't be what it is. It'll be what you think it should be, which may or may not be what it really is. Okay. So you trust the intelligence, the naturalness of the system. Okay, so far?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do an open mic with everybody. Here's the you might do it, Marla. Okay, here's the setup. Your normal you, we'll call him 10-pounder, and I'm asking you to trade it in or to clear, to empty, to let go, so that the next assembly, dimensionally finer, can assemble. Okay? Now, I'm not talking to you guys because you guys are cool, but there are some people out there in the world who can't let go, don't want to let go. What's their problem? Okay? Open mic. People, what's their problem that they can't clear to move to their 20-pounder, to their next level of self? What's their problem? What's their misunderstanding? Talk to me.
I have too many problems. I have so
I
many
can't do this.
things
I
going
have
on.
to take care. I have so many 10-pound problems that I don't have the time or whatever to let go to move into a 20-pound self. Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe something will get missed.
Yeah. So I got too many problems that have to be taken care of. Well, of course, it's sort of common sense. If you move into a better level of self is a 20-pounder. It sees and handles problems much better. But you got to play with it to realize that. So, but going round and round on your problems. Yeah, good. Thank you, Kenny. Yeah. Somebody jump in.
They're familiar with what they have and comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And have fear of expanding.
Yeah. And that's a problem for a lot of folks who are pretty good. Okay. OSensei brought this up once. He said something about hard for a fifth dan. I mentioned this before once. Fifth dan in the old homebrew days was pretty high rank. They reach a certain level like that, and they don't want to let go of that level to move into next. They're pretty good. They have a following. They're well known. You want me to let go of that for I don't know what the hell's going to happen here? They won't do it. And he said that was always a problem. So if people really want to stay at the level where, hey, I'm pretty good, I like myself, I call that level of comfortableness. If you make it clear to me that you're happy there and you don't want to gamble clearing, I'll try to leave you alone. Go work out in the corner of my dojo, or better yet, don't come to my dojo. Maybe. Okay. Somebody jump in.
Sensei,
I don't know if I have the tools to measure improvement.
I'm sorry, there's three at the same
Please.
time there.
I said, I don't know if I have the tools to measure improvement.
That's why in the Aikido, we try to, the tools to measure improvement. Okay, 10 pounder. Okay, I'm feeling it. Then I'm going to be fast. Boom, 20 pounder. Boom. I just got results. I don't even have to ask her how it was. I saw her break. I didn't push her. I'm just here. Okay. So I just measured the result. Isn't that self-evident? If you're, sorry, doctor, this doctor said, if you're too dense, you won't even see that. I don't know where you are. But here, oh, she's breaking. Huh. It's measurable. Or if this were a good partner, how is it better, Katja? Was it better? How was it better?
Much more clear. I feel what you want.
Okay.
That's clear communication.
Okay, clear communication. So if you can't figure it out, have a good partner who'll figure it out for you. Give you some feedback. Okay? Does that cover the tools to measure close enough?
Thank you, Sensei.
Yeah. Go for a long walk. If you, while you're walking, clear, trade yourself in. You're on lineage of walking. Next should be a bit better walker. You ought to eventually find yourself sort of gliding along walking, or flowing walking, or walking with more contact, more stability, more presence as you walk. So find something simple like walking and play with it there. So you can build up your measurement capability. Okay. See, we do a stupid one here, sit, stand. Okay, I'd like to stand better. Okay, boom, here comes the energies. It's a minor dimensional change. Okay, I noticed my weaknesses, especially this knee was starting to give out a bit, but I noticed a little oomph that supported the stand. Okay, same thing. Settle or clear, open. Next dimension. I'm just doing little dimensions here. Next, feel the energy gathering. There, my timing was better. At that level, I could feel the energy starting to move through. It's like that before I stood. I could sense, feel. So you do something dumb like that and pick up your ability to measure. I think we're okay. I hope we're okay because I got nothing more to say there. Somebody?
Sensei,
Yo.
people say I have much to lose, or I will lose everything that I've gained.
Yeah, and again, if you're happy with yourself, go ye and be happy. Level of comfortableness. Okay. See, I got involved because even as a young high schooler, I'd look at the world and say, is this it? I wasn't interested if the world as I saw it was it. I had this urge, this desire to, I hope there's something better. I have a sense there's something better, although I don't see it. What should I do? Then I started to learn how to sit and settle and all of that. So something prodded me, okay, or pushed me. Well, Sensei said he was pushed his entire life. Every time he tried to be comfortable, there'd be some kind of push and he had to continue. So he said that was constant for him. He says people don't know how constantly he was pushed. But if you don't have a push, be happy. Have a good trip, okay? Somebody.
Bob, this is Catherine. I've been reflecting on the misunderstandings that can occur when you're quite young based on the religious tradition you grow up in, where energy belongs in a certain realm and there's evil and there's good, and you know, it gets really complex around that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never liked that version of evil, because then people would begin to think in terms of there's good and there's evil. Now, if I really open up and allow stuff, if I really clear to be open to allow, maybe it'll be evil. And all I can say, it doesn't work that way. That's not how the universe was created. Evil is when we spin in and get tighter and tighter. We take this beautiful stuff and we tie it into a knot. Now evilness can happen. But as we unwind, the harmony and balance and beauty and wow of it can begin to show. It was not created good and bad. It was created he and she. It was created yin yang. It was created the great mind of things and the great stuff of things. You call it body. The great mind and the great stuff, and they're in harmony. There's no good bad creation. So if they believe that, I don't know what to tell them except, oh, you poor thing. But if you play with these simple things, you feel it getting better. There really isn't any horrible thing that's going to happen. I make jokes with people. I may have done in your day too, back in the day, where I used to make a joke about if people open up or clear or whatever, and it starts to mix up and they're afraid of what it's going to mix. They think the next one getting mixed is going to choke them to death. I used to joke with that one because that's how some people thought. Well, I really don't want to open and let it mix because maybe it's going to do that. Are you crazy? It won't. You play and you'll see it just gets better and better. Yes, there'll be misunderstandings along the way and little tricks you have to learn on your own, but the law is better and better and better, or finer and finer and finer and finer. That's how the creation's laid out. We're in a very heavy place as we settle and open and unwind and clear and easy. The finer can begin to show it's there, and we incorporate, we work with it, bad wording here, we partake of it, and so we feel better, we move better. Okay, so I really don't know what those to do with the people that really believe good and evil that in that context. It's like, what a shame. Yeah.
And Sensei, a new student sent a question in by text, and they said, one of the things holding people back might be that they don't know they are holding on to something or what they're holding on to.
Sounds fun too. Well, getting to the green you, getting to the 20-pounder you, getting to the Robert or Nadeau you, whatever way you want to configure this or words you want to use here. I got lost in the words. Say those words to me again now.
Certainly.
Laura.
Right. So your question was, what's holding people back from clearing?
Mm-hmm.
And the student wrote, they don't know they are holding on to something.
Okay.
And they don't know what the thing they're holding on to is.
Okay. As you make your first trial moves from 10-pounder to 20-pounder, at first you won't get the fullness of the 20-pounder. That's why I ask people to not be in a rush there and to not think too fast. I want you to feel the 20-pounder before you have a sense or think about 20-pound you, to take your time there so it can establish itself more. As you continue to make those runs, if they should naturally get better as you continue. The next one should be a little bit better than the previous one. And if there's interference, that interference should begin to show because the system likes bomb to boom. And if there's an interference, hopefully it should show that your interference, your idea of you're hanging on to something or what you're worrying about, that should begin to show. so, so you're just going from a 10-pounder to a 20-pounder. If after a little while you can't establish or have a 20-pounder really establish itself, it ought to be pretty obvious to you. Then you could talk to your system, a little more advanced, and say, hey, how can I make this easier? How can I make this clearer? What do I have to do to make this fuller? And then you settle and feel, because there's intelligence in the system, and it might very clearly point out you're too worried, or you're thinking about Mary Lou and you ought to be doing this. Something like that. Sorry, that's the best I can do right now.
If I could try a little reverse here, Sensei, I think the person is asking that even if they don't think they're holding on to something, can they still go through the clearing process in a constructive, productive way?
Yeah, and as you get better at it, anything impairing will start to show, because the system wants to move smoothly. Click, click. So if you have something that you're not even aware of that's dragging, interfering, after a while, it'll point it out, because it wants a whoosh, whoosh. The creation wants to be smooth. That's part of its essence, smoothness. So it will be pointed out. I think I mentioned last week, mentioned again, OSensei ran into his childhood thing of being weak, and at the same time, because the hoods were beating up his father, and he was there seeing that the world was a bad place. So as he was moving along, he realized he still had this little memory of being weak. He's only about 7, 8 years old or whatever he was. And his daddy's getting beat up, the world's a bad place. And he bumped into those and, oh, okay. And he continued, and they disappear. Because there were things he was hanging on to as a little kid, but he was still sort of hanging on to them in his adulthood. He saw they were there, but not like he had to, do therapy for a year and a half. They just, oh, okay. And he continued, and they're gone. They're ancient memories that you have trouble trying to remember again. They're virtually non-existent after a while. They don't drag on you anymore. So in the process of continuing, going finer and finer, there's those things are, I don't know, washed over, must be a better word. Something like that. Is that okay?
Thank you so much, Sensei.
Yeah. A couple more, and then I'll move on to something else here, or a different angle. Somebody? What's the fear of those poor beings out there? Not you guys. You guys are cool. What's the fear? If this is simple, clear, settle, hush, get to internally a finer dimension. And in a finer dimension, the energies are finer, and they mix up your next body being, your sense of yourself. Ha! I'm not a Bobby anymore. I'm a Robert. I'm a Nadeau. Screw you people. I'm Sensei. Whatever. Okay? It's kind of simple, right? Nothing more to add. We finished with that?
Hi, Sensei. It's Joanna. I have one question. Could be the fear of kind of an emptiness place between one dimension from another. So you get to another dimension, and then, okay, I let go something, and then I meet an empty space. Then I have to let go another thing.
No, don't do things ... There's a million things potentially, or a bunch. Don't itemize them. You're dragging. You're making this too much. What do we have a word for that? Little things. Nitpicking. in English. I don't know how it is in your language, but oh, now I gotta let go of that. No, I gotta let go of that. No, I gotta let go. No, 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 no. Just a fuller sense of. Don't get into nitpicking. You'll be there forever. And it's also an excuse for some people, maybe not you, for some people to really not move into next because I'm busy nitpicking. And then tomorrow I pick up another 10 there I've got to go through. It's also potentially for some people an excuse for not having an inner experience of a better level of self. Okay. But no, you don't have to do it that way. Everything I feel, everything I think I am, everything I believe in, everything draining down, clearing, trading in, just a sense, just a sense. And boom, the next level, the next dimension starts to mix. Da, 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 da. And it has less, it's less affected by those little things. Some of them will still be there because they're bigger than the smaller things. But when I do it again, or eventually do it at a finer dimension, if I do 30-pounder instead of a 20, then more of those things drop off and drop away and don't bother me anymore. So you can try a fuller sense of things. Don't nitpick. It will be here forever. Not even making it to a 20-pounder. You'll be a 10-pounder who's working her butt off. Okay. Good enough?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Sensei, sorry, it's Mike from
No.
New Zealand. I just wanted to say that I think for a lot of people, the very concept of there being different versions of you as per the levels is just a fundamental concept that they just can't even imagine. That how they would go about it would be to try harder in the existing body, you know, at the existing level.
Yeah, no, they take the 10-pounder and they add more muscle to the 10-pounder. Yeah?
Yes.
And in some cases, they still don't grow in with self. They're an idiot who's got bigger muscles. So there's that misunderstanding where I call it extrinsic. Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. Mike, maybe say it to me though in the first person. There's always something in your voice. I've heard this before. Talking about like I asked you to talk about those poor people out there, but can you take on a bit their persona? Why they don't want to clear?
Oh yeah.
They don't want to allow. Can you bring it on home? I'm not sure what I'm going for here, but I'd like to put you in the middle of it.
No, it's all right. I realized anyway from the beginning that you weren't really talking about them. You were talking about us.
No, really. I'm being sneaky, of course.
Well, I mean, I certainly battle with letting go. When you've been over and when we had classes.
Why are you battling with clearing, letting go, trading in? Why?
Fear.
Fear? Fear of what?
Fear of, yeah, what might come next, I guess. Or being judged, actually. That's another one, being judged.
Don't jump around too much here. Let's take one thing at a time. Remember, I'm kind of slow. You can get 3 steps ahead of me and I forget what the first one was. Fear of I don't know what's here. I don't know who I am as Green Man. I don't know who I am as the 20-pounder. I don't know who I am as Robert compared to Bobby. So yes, that's typical, okay? All I can say is we're all always on lineage. I'm talking about major lineage. You are on your mission in the universe. You will always be you, okay? So who you'll be is the next level of you. Now, again, by law, it can only be a bit better because it's finer energies, right? So the word trust, unfortunately, comes up a lot here. Trust that the next dimension is finer and the next dimension is going to mix you up at a better level of you. Okay? You see, again, if you do the basics, Miss Katja, if you do the basics, I don't even need Katja, maybe, but I'll use her because she's nice. Changing. Boom. Okay. Again, for me, quickly, I settle, I clear, open, boom, mix it up on this lid, boom. Okay. Obviously getting better, no? Easy, boom, clear. Oh, yeah. Definitely stronger, more definite, ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Hey, I feel good. Where am I going with this? Haven't you been through a million of those? If not, you should have been. You're a long-term Aikidoist. What can I say? Where are we?
Sensei,
Fear of letting go to next, over and over. Even in a dojo, you should be doing next, not every second next, but someplace in there should be doing your next, and it's obvious that it's working a bit better because you feel better. The outward technique looks and feels and works better. Hello, what did I miss here?
no, you're completely right, and I find it very easy to do this when I'm on the mat. It's taking it into my daily life, I guess, that I find more of a challenge.
Okay, but some of us, we don't have a mat. We haven't had a mat for 6 months. God knows, it could be another 3 months or another 6 months. We don't know anything here without a mat. You're going to do nothing because you don't have a mat?
No, absolutely not.
Your body is aging. There's going to be one day where you won't even be able to get on the mat because you won't be physically capable. Is that the end of the work?
No.
Then I say, what are you doing? You see? So a little problem we're having with all Aikidos. Oh, I can't go to the dojo and throw. Oh, yes, but here it is. We've got it available to us. Not in a dojo setting, but in a standing setting, in a walking around the block setting, in just a personal, who the hell am I really trading in? Boom, and it's mixing up a better level of who I am really. Uh-oh, I'm starting to get somebody who's got feeling. Uh-oh, watch out for that one. And again, clearing and treating all of that in and fuller feeling. Oh shit, I'm beginning to care. I'm making a joke here for those of you that know me. Oh my God, I'm becoming a caring person. Oh my, I can't have that. Do it with yourself straight away. Flavor yourself, feel yourself. The better mix has a sense of itself. After a while, you'll get an improved model that has a sense of itself in the world. And the world relates back to this character. So after a few levels, I'll have to explain that better another day, but there's a character and the realm he's in. Let's go through the words. The situation you're in, the realm you're in, the world you're in, the universe you're in. To me, are all the same words. Okay? So there's a relationship between the character and the realm. Okay? We'll hold that off for a little clearer layout another day. We're going to be running out of time, so I think I'll cut this. I want to go on to some different aspects, if that's okay with you all. So, mic's off. Anyway, so again, find your own words, but clearing. In there is a letting go. Now, if I'm starting to worry about, but did I let go of everything? I'm not sure what to let go of. You're interfering. Let go of that thought process. Easy. Clear. So clear and easy seem to be related words or friendly with each other. Something there about exhale the old, inhale the new. Well, that's what breathing is anyway, isn't it? We exhale something and we inhale something fresher. Oh, okay. That fits in. Exhaling the old, inhaling the new. That's a clearing. Trade in. Trade yourself in. Whatever you've got, feel the fullness of you, body and sense of things, and you trade it all in. And the next set will be the better version of you that traded in. It'll follow that sequencing. So trade in, as other words that assist, settle down, open up, facilitate the inner, finer, larger self. Okay. So open up so more of this finer energies can mix up fuller. Okay. So there's a lot of words that are similar to clearing and a lot of words that are related in some fashion. They seem to assist. Like hush, hush. Then you could add in clear, hush. Clear to opening. Things are mixing. Da, da, da. Is that okay? Let me aside for a moment here. I think everyone does this. They clear every day, but you don't notice it usually. And you maybe wouldn't use the word clear, but so often during the day, you, boom. And in that, you cleared so that the next boom could happen. Let's see. Daily life. Be quiet for a moment. Boom. You start to activate again. So you do this a lot. What I'm trying to present, what you don't do, it sounds negative, I don't mean it that way. What you don't do is realize the fullness, the bigness, if you would, of that little thing that you do every day that you don't even notice when you do a downtime or a settling or an easy. You do it so bing, bang, that you don't even notice you've done it. So I'm asking you to start to notice, play a game of catching those trade-in times or those down times or those easy times where this happens, but it only happens in a little beep, beep motion. But once you catch, oh, that's how it works, then you can take the same thing and go gangbusters with it. Okay, this really makes sense to our foreign viewers, right? Gangbusters. Where you realize, oh, it's really much fuller. And therefore that remixes back is much fuller and much truer. So anyway, and we could do an open mic on that, but we're running out of time. For those people that go, oh yeah, when I go, I've just done it, okay, or something. So that's your homework. Find those small things you do that are the small versions of letting go, settling down, clearing, downtime. Uh, uh, that's your homework, okay? And I'll try to ask you about that next week. Okay, what I wanted to cover though, I don't have the right word. I want to say different forms of when to clear. It's not quite the right word, but you'll catch it in a minute. Okay, so let's say, okay, I'm going to use Katya again. I was going to say, let's say you're a golfer. Let's say you're an Ikkyo, or, okay? That's my lineage right now. I'm doing Ikkyo. Settle, whatever. And that level of Ikkyo, or everything I know about it, everything I'm feeling about it, everything of my body, clear. Trade it in. Hush. You get to a finer dimensional level, it starts to mix. Have a little more room there because it's mixing. First through the body before you start to think about it. A little fuller there. As you feel it more and more through the body, now a sense of yourself. Well, I feel chestier, good, and I feel more here. I feel a little more capable. It's like if you have a job to offer me, I'll say, yes, I can do that. I feel capable or more capable. Ikkyo. So where's I going with that? That on lineage, this is an Ikkyo lineage, and I play the game, and my Ikkyo gets better. Okay? As I continue, finer dimension, is some facts. I don't think I pulled her down or pushed her down. I feel a little more settled and grounded, a little fuller, of course, but it seemed to work better. But I could double check with Katya. Katya, was that better? I didn't crowd you, did I? I didn't force you, did I? Oh, good. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm on lineage. If I were a golfer, I'd do the same thing. That's when I used to teach golf. I mentioned this before. I, in a certain way, didn't give a damn about their golf game. Not really, okay? But I thought if I could show them how to center or settle ground a bit, then they would catch that the golfer got better and they'd play better golf. My hopes were that they, instead of going, oh, and then from that moment on, trying to become a better golfer, which they'll drift away from this, or having the ability of holding the status quo, that they'd go, wait a minute, I centered a bit and I got better. Let me check out this centering thing, that they'd be fascinated by centering, and they would get in and they would inquire and inner experience it more and more and more to move along dimensionally, or grounding, the same thing. That was my hope, because in a certain way, I didn't give a damn about their golf game. But I was hoping by using this trick of centering or grounding or whatever, that would catch their attention and they would start to major on that. You see? Aikido, we have the same problem. Too much exterior development and not enough interior development. But all of OSensei's greatness was based on his interior experience of the universe, which we saw in an exterior way. But how many Aikido people do interior work? They talk about it. Platitudes, I think Lauren gave you that word a week or so ago. Platitudes. They say platitudes. But really, really, really inquiring, really inner, finer experience, unfortunately, we lose them there. All right. So I'm talking to you guys. I'm saying, don't get lost. Don't get lost. This is very important work. You'll need this in this life. Things will be better when you cross over, which we're all going to do, into the astral plane after death, which we should talk about one day, because as a group, we're getting older. Some people might be interested. I'm not a great expert on crossing over. I know a few things. I talk to dead people, have a fair history of that. I'm not an expert, but there's a lot of books about people crossing over and coming back, and psychic channeling work of people that crossed over. Anyway, it might be fun to dialogue that some evening, especially for those of us who are getting older, to prep you. Okay, so we have this lineage thing, Ikkyo or golfer. It's not just physical though. If you want to be a better daddy, stand with yourself, feel yourself as a father. But you'd like to be a better father, something's bugging you a bit. You take in your normal father sense. Go over what you like about yourself, what you're not sure about yourself as a father, whatever. And you trade it all in. You clear. And take your time, and it's reassembling the next level of fatherhood. Take your time. Again, feel it first before you start thinking. Okay. If you start thinking, you don't have the guts of it. You don't have the soul of it. You don't have the of it. It'll dissipate too fast. So feel it a lot before you start to think or sense about yourself. Very important trick. So it's not just physical things that can develop, all right? Whatever, you want to be a better doctor, you want to be a better father, just a better person. Okay, another form is more self in that finer sense of self. Okay, so I used to think I was Bobby or Robert at that time, maybe, yeah. And I traded myself in, I cleared. And then things began to happen. Things began to show, okay? And in experiencing that, flavoring that, sensing that, it was different, better than who I first thought I was. I was still me, but I had things in me that I wasn't aware I had. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is who am I really pattern? Okay. Yes, I'm Robert. Fine. But trade that in. Who am I really? And see what develops. Again, more feeling of it first before you have a sense of it. Better, fuller the feeling, the better, truer your sense is. I want to use an example there. Sit, take a pause. I want to use an example there of Roy. I don't know, last week or week before, we were talking about qualities, and Roy had this one that he had, sort of gave the sense that he hadn't seen it before or felt it before, and it was, what's the word? Not royalty. Nobility, nobleness. And there it was. We opened up for a main quality of yours, and there was such noble, being noble. And he was a little surprised by it. Okay. So what I want to say here is we really don't know who we are. Not really. See, Roy, he's not 18 anymore. He's been around a while. There's this nobleness. Whoa, really? Okay. So all of you are more than you're aware of. But we have to go into finer dimensions of ourselves to backtrack ourselves, to get into the finer, to realize the finer of ourselves, and the finer dimensions will show that. And it'll be on your lineage. It'll be you. So yes, Roy, there is nobility in you. You play with it more, you allow it more, you mix up more, and even go to a finer dimension following that trajectory of nobleness, nobility, and see what kind of character it mixes up. Side trick, don't forget its partner. We don't want to get one-sided in the universe, even on beautiful things like love or nobility or power or whatever. Try to bring in a partner or ask a partner to show, so we stay more balanced. It's a healthy thing to do. I'll highlight that another day if I have to. So that's an important form of clearing. Who am I really? Pattern. So you've got the physical lineages, you've got the other things like being a parent, this very important one of who am I really? Very important. Another thing we can do on clearing is we can use it, I'm running out of time. To have a better sense of things, I'll have to say this one quickly. Say you're researching something, if you were to clear, get to a finer dimension, and that includes the thing you're researching, and you get a better sense of it. I'd like to go into a longer conversation with that. Okay, quick story. Ready for this? Is a good story. This is an Elaine Yoder story. Back in the day a bit, one of my students worked for a company, I don't know, I forget the name, Failsafe. Their job, and they had a big staff of engineers of all kinds of types. And if anything broke down big time, this company was hired and they'd send all their experts to the scene of the breakdown and they'd study what happened, okay? One day, my student happened to mention a case that came in where a brand new overpass thing they were working on, I think Chicago maybe, fell over and 12 workers on it got killed. So I said, hey, Elaine, let's check this one out. So we settle, we clear to get to a finer dimension with this problem. What happened with that overpass? Easy. Boom. Okay, I see the first support beam, and then I follow the trajectory up. I screwed this up, by the way. And I followed the trajectory up, and I sort of got involved with the cement, and it was minor. They saved a few bucks cutting corners, but nothing really major. They could have let it dry a little bit better, but no big deal. And while I'm following this false trail, Elaine saw the first support pillar, and she moved into the second support pillar, sensing this, and says, oh, there it is. The ground is bad. It's too soft or it's bad. Okay. A few weeks later, after all the engineers have been there studying, you know what they found right underneath the second pier? It used to be a dump there. So the ground was soft. They didn't check that ground. So they put the support pillar there on ground that was soft. So it collapsed. The whole thing collapsed. 12 guys got killed. Took us what, Elaine? 5, 10 minutes? 10 minutes. Yeah, you remember that?
I do remember it. Yeah.
That was fun. You were cool on that one. I said, I screwed up. Elaine caught it. Yeah. So I'm also passing on the word to people who have to research something or find a better model of a model they're working on, that you have that capability to be able to do that. I'm sorry, had to cut that one short. We could come back around on that form of using finer dimension awareness capability, which you all have. Okay. Another old story. Okay, where are we? We ran out of time is where we are. So clearing. Don't make it a chore. Don't itemize those things. If you're aware of them, fine, but don't hang out with them and make it a chore. Just do a general sense of clearing, trading in, downtime with all of that. And what happens is it brings you to a finer dimension, and a finer dimension on the lineage you're on. If you're a golfer, it'll be a finer dimension that mixes up a better golfer, or a daddy, or whoever, whatever. This is fantastic stuff. I keep looking at the clock. Hi there. Let's see. I'll tell you what. We'll take a 2-minute break, and if you want to, anybody wants to talk, we can talk. So, observations, questions, whatever. 2 minutes, 2-minute break. Yeah.
You, Sensei.
Is that okay?
Thank you, Sensei.
And
2-minute break.
Those that are going to cut off, thank you for being here. See you next week. Okay. Thank you.